Shane here with you once again, and we're speaking with a good friend of mine going back several years now. Eli Cranor, author, columnist, writer in residence at Arkansas Tech University, best-selling author, I might add, as well. Thank you for joining me in the studio, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me back.
Absolutely.
I was thinking right before I was coming in here, I guess we were here with Don't Know Tough, and that was the first book, so almost 3 years ago.
No kidding. Yeah, it's been that long. Wow. Let's get a little backstory first. I mean, you've done some big things here recently and more big things coming, but let's talk a little bit about where you started. Let's take it back maybe to Russellville High School.
Yeah. So Russellville grad, and I was always a weird connection. We actually just the other day found a DVD of all the performances of Junior Follies that I had done back. So Junior Follies, for those who don't know, if you're not from Russellville, was like the talent show. And so we did one every year. I had a band. And so I say that to say that, I was the quarterback at the high school, but then I always, if you could have seen these weird musical performances, it was everything from, G-Love to, Metallica to, we covered all these different weird,
Shout out Special Sauce fans
G-Love
out
and
there.
The Special Sauce, for
Absolutely.
Sure. Again,
speaking with Eli Cranor, where'd you go from Russellville High School?
Yeah, man, so I went and played football was my calling card. Went to Florida Atlantic for a year, went to Ouachita Baptist for 4 years, and then played a season in Sweden. All throughout that, I got a degree, or I studied English literature, majored in English lit, was reading and writing, and then I coached for 5 years, and was when I got out of that, I thought, well, what am I going to do? What's going to be the next thing? And I was a teacher still, but I really put my foot down and tried to get into writing novels. So yeah, Don't Know Tough was when I saw you last, and a lot has happened since then, from that book to this book.
I actually did read Don't Know Tough, an amazing story of a kid, his father, just all kinds of wild crime going on and stuff like that. Ozark Dogs, more crime stories in the American South, and that brings us to this newest release, Broiler. Tell us a little bit about this new book coming out July 2nd.
Don't Know Tough was a line from that book, and it just stuck, And then Ozark Dogs, my second novel, had about 40 different titles. From me, the publisher had issues with title. We finally ended up on Ozark Dogs.
See, I didn't know about that.
Yeah,
really.
They get a say, they'll get to change. And then Broiler was one right from the beginning, because these are thrillers, crime, suspense, whatever genre you want to put them in. And so that title kind of had that in it. And then the other part, and the thing that I hope kind of resonates to anyone from around here, is the chicken processing industry. So that's where this book is set, and it takes on two kind of desperate families. One is the plant manager and his wife, and then the other is a young couple who's working on the line, the actual processing line. Those two dynamics cross and converge, and things quickly start to broil.
Man, this is going to resonate with people from here. You talk about Tyson, you talk about one of the biggest corporations in the world and how big it is here in the natural state. Mm-hmm. Man, was this inspired by maybe anybody you know or somebody from here?
Yeah, there was, so all my wife's family, they have chicken houses. Growing up, I'll never forget my grandfather driving through, anytime we drive past the chicken house, he'd smell it, and I'd be like, oh, man, it stinks. He's like, nah, it smells like money. That's what he'd always say. So a big thing for me, as I've gone out and become a novelist, which entails, getting to travel and doing all this fun stuff that I'm so thankful for, I've also felt like a real responsibility to kind of represent Arkansas. As an Arkansasier, I always want to do as much as I can, to just at least shine a light. Doesn't always mean it's going to be positive.
Eli Cranor in the studio with us. You've been to Europe now, best-selling, award-winning author. What would you say to these other Arkansasiers, if you will, people with dreams to succeed at your level, if you could give them a little bit of encouragement, man? This world is kind of an ugly place sometimes.
For sure. Well, if you're wanting to be a writer, and I think this would apply to anything, you have to read a lot first. Just like a musician who wants to learn how to play guitar, you listen to the greats, you listen to music, you become a student of music. And then the most important thing is you write. A little bit of every day goes a long way.
As we wrap this thing up, Broiler out on July 2nd. How can our listeners get this book and keep up with you in your travels and whatever's coming up next for you.
Cool, man. Well, on Sunday, June 30th, so 2 days before the actual release where the rest of the world will get this book, anyone in Russellville has the opportunity to come to the Old Bank at 5 o'clock, and we're going to be upstairs, and there's going to be live music, and there's going to be food. I'll talk a little bit about the book, maybe read the first page, and then dog ear books will be on hand with early copies that you can purchase. I can sign if you want me to, and then we can just hang out.
River Valley, get up to date with all the things going on with Broiler and my friend Eli Cranor from right here in the big city of Russellville at Eli Cranor author page on Facebook. And what is your website once again?
EliCranor.com. Come support dog ear. That's a huge thing for them. Everybody always wants to order that book off Amazon or whatever and get it shipped, and you get it signed and you can get it, personalized. And we've done this every time with the previous 2 books. And you were there on the first one.
Absolutely, I was.
We did that one at the depot. So if you're around, if this is of interest, I really would just swing by and grab a book. It'd be great.
Eli, thanks again, brother.
Thanks for having me, Shane.